This is Jumping In, a short-form series of the Jedburgh podcast. I'm the creator and host, Fran Racioppi. Each week I have the opportunity to speak with transformative leaders, visionaries, drivers of change, those dedicated to winning no matter the challenge. Our long-form series has been an opportunity to go deep, unpack all aspects of our guest and their story. For Jumping In, just like our Jedburgh teams of World War II, I want to get on and off the drop zone fast. I want to catch up with previous guests, give my opinion on what's happening in the world, and uncover some of today's most pressing issues. The entire Jedburgh podcast is sponsored by Jersey Mike Subs. Together, we share the mission of giving back and building community together. A percentage of all proceeds is dedicated to the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. Check out our website for full transcriptions of every episode at jedburghpodcast.com. Follow us on social media at Jedburgh Podcast on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast and watch our full video versions on YouTube. How you prepare today determines success tomorrow.
And there's like night events under the lights I saw in some of the pictures.
Oh, I mean, the entertainment aspect of it alone is pretty unique as well. I mean, I have 20 years of event entertainment experience prior to even coming and working with the Wodapalooza group, and the showmanship of it is certainly part of the uniqueness. Yeah. Under the Miami lights, under the neon lights that we put up, the Jumbotrons, like the look and feel of it it's pro.
For our final conversation of the 2022 GORUCK Games, I asked Aaron Anderson, the VP of Business Development at Loudon Live, to join me in the back of the Land Rover ambulance to discuss Wodapalooza, one of the biggest events in fitness. Wodapalooza hosts over 3,000 athletes and over 45,000 fans. Competitors range from the elite to the regular Joe. The focus has always been on functional fitness, but a lot of effort has gone into the educational events of the weekend. And since it takes place in downtown Miami in January, there's nowhere else to be. Aaron breaks down the different events of Wodapalooza, including the fitness competition, the weightlifting competition, the multi-component functional and Olympic lifts, and the gauntlet. He gave me his opinion on what the future has in store for the fitness industry. And we covered gratitude and gratification, since we both agreed that the best part of working out is when we're done. With that, our coverage of Sandlot Jacks and the GORUCK Games for 2022 is over. In 2.5 days, we recorded 12 episodes. Over the last 6 weeks, we gave you everything we had. Now it's on to planning for next year. If you're looking for more, check out our full-length episode videos on YouTube, check out our promos on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Find all of our episodes on our website or wherever you get your podcasts. Until then, we'll see you at the 2023 Games.
Aaron, welcome to the Jedburgh podcast.
Thanks. It's really good to be here. Appreciate it.
So, as we've been talking with everybody who's jumping, we're calling it Jumping In, right? It's a short form series where we're jumping in on a bunch of different topics. You are the vice president of Loudon Live Sports and the host of Wodapalooza. January 12th to 15th, 2023. I've done all my research on this thing now.
Great.
So
right.
I've figured out the different components of it. Okay, multifunctional fitness competition, but it really is all joking aside, one of the largest fitness competitions in the country. It's hosted each year by you guys. Talk to me a little bit about the history of the event, because it's fascinating that in a short time, in 2012 until now, the first one was one day, 145 athletes, 500 attendees, and you guys are killing that now.
Yeah, it's an interesting format, because when you look at the functional fitness space and even what's going on here at Sandlot, you have rucking, you have obstacle course, you've got people throwing around sandbags and medicine balls, and so you have strength components. Wodapalooza is focused on the community of fitness, so there's all kinds of different levels of that,
which is what's awesome about fitness.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just one method or methodology. There's different programming partners, there's different partners like rucking, like powerlifting. CrossFit is certainly a big part of that, but Wodapalooza in its history has strived to bring that community of fitness together. So it's about giving back to the people. So one of the interesting things is that not just being the longest running, but having one of the highest athlete bases as well. When we talk about community, it's not just community coming out and sporting, but it's about taking part in it from all levels. So, whatever level of fitness that you are at, Wodapalooza probably has a way to engage with you. And that's really what makes it special. We don't want to exclude anyone. There is certainly an elite component to it, but, it's also about education, and hopefully you come away from it, a little bit more enlightened on what fitness is, and maybe a career path that it can take you on, how you want to improve your daily habit in fitness. But Wodapalooza, an event, is special because I think it brings together all these components in a way that a lot of other events don't. It has like a very special place in the annual event calendar within fitness.
Well, let's talk about the different components, because you said there's something for everybody in it, right? And so when we look at it, there's the fitness component, there's the weightlifting part, the multi-component functional piece, and then the gauntlet. So kind of starting at the top, let's talk about each one of those. And what's the fitness piece?
So Wodapalooza actually starts call it summer, late summer. We'll do an online component of registrants that will in the thousands, which whittle down into a select number of, call it, elite athletes that are vying for a prize purse at Wodapalooza. So there is probably a 4 to 6 month cycle of events of people that this is their focus. You know? And it's one of the highest prize purses for those.
It's like
athletes.
$500,000.
Exactly. So the men's individual winner, the women's individual winner are both walking away with a $100,000 check, which is a good payday, right, for a weekend. So there's
I'll take it.
Yeah, right. And the athletes are certainly driven by that. They're driven to come out and also have some fun while they're in Miami. But the other elements that have kind of evolved, like you mentioned, over the last now 10-year history of the event, like the gauntlet, is comprised of those people who will never probably get the experience to compete on that elite level floor. You and I could register for the gauntlet and compete on the same exact competition floor that those elite athletes are competing. We can go through similar exercises. We can have our friends cheer us on. We work.
It's going to look a lot different for you and me.
Might be a little bit slower. might be not. Might be a scaled workout. But I'll get through it. You'll get through it. So, but you get to experience what that's like. On the other side of it too, since we're in the call it CrossFit season, a lot of the athletes that aren't even competing on the elite level for that prize purse that we're talking about, they're there talking about initiatives that they're doing outside of fitness, books that they're writing, business initiatives, partners that they're working on, picking their brains on different thoughts. So like when we talk about like seminar speaking and different, what is fitness, it doesn't always have to happen on the competition floor. It can be cerebral in a way. And that's where, if you look at some fitness competitions, it's focused 100% elite athletes, competition style only. It's a little bit different. On a community side here at Wodapalooza as well, the programming is different. It's right in downtown Miami, so we have the waterway there. We have, the sunshine, so the event is 100% outdoors.
Can't wait to move to Miami. So
there you go.
I used to live there.
Yeah.
So I live there actually on Brickell Key.
Oh, perfect.
But it was the early 90s, so there was like 2 buildings on Brickell Key at that point in time, and now it's blown up.
Come back and take a tour in January. Yeah, and that's the appeal too. January in Miami it's a nice place to be. It's a nice way to kick off the year. It's a destination. We're sitting here in Jacksonville now, and this is just before the hot months of Florida. Yeah, January in Miami is pretty nice. So the majority of our Loud and Live squad is there for almost a month prior, setting it up, making sure that we have everything in place with our partners, the city, the park district. The process is pretty long to put on an event like that. I think if being outside of the event organizing world, it might look like hey, the event just happens, but we're kind of deep into 2023 and how we're planning for that, and trying to get ahead of every year, trying to make sure that we're ahead of the game. We're doing more. So,
well, you're taking over. A lot of that Bayside area right there.
Yeah, it's downtown. Incredible, man. It's when you're talking about converting a public park into a multi-stage event, taking over waterways, fencing off, various walkways that are in, like I say, a public district of a large city. There's challenges to that. So but honestly, that's the fun part about it. And I think anybody that comes to Wodapalooza either prior to the event happening or afterwards is kind of like blown away, like what just happened here in January. Like it's incredible.
And there's like night events under the lights I saw in some of the pictures.
Oh, the entertainment aspect of it alone is pretty unique as well. I have 20 years of event entertainment experience prior to even coming and working with the Wodapalooza group, and the showmanship of it is certainly part of the uniqueness. Yeah, under the Miami lights, under the neon lights that we put up, the jumbotrons, like the look and feel of it is it's pro. It's pro.
So you said you had 20 years of experience going into this. Talk a little bit about your career before you came.
Yeah, man, I worked primarily in action sports, motorsports to be specific, but a lot of family entertainment I worked on, which, you know, putting on events, working with venues, working with partnerships, working with, you know, visitor bureaus of various cities. You know, what is all the components that make an event come together is what I kind of been working on for the last 20 years. Out of Chicago, moved down to Florida. I had always had a love for fitness. I started doing CrossFit in the early days of it, you know, prior to, I think about 2010, 2009, somewhere around there. So,
yesterday.
Yeah, right. It feels like, I know, it feels like, yeah. Even when we say Wodapalooza, like it's 11th year and it's like the first year 10 years ago, boy, I remember that. I could remember prior to Wodapalooza years very well. Yeah. And, you know, the opportunity to take that knowledge and use it in the functional fitness space, especially an event like Wodapalooza, was a unique opportunity. You know, people that had worked on these events that I had met, that I had started talking to and talk about like how they wanted to grow the event, what they needed, you know, some areas of expertise in. Like, I thought it was a very unique experience to get involved. So, yeah, honestly, I couldn't be more grateful to work with the team that we have at Loud and Live and Wodapalooza and the partners that we work with. Like it makes part of the jobs very easy at times because like we have a very, very good team. Yeah. So, and you know, I think most people that do this, it's like you're probably not going to do this to be the richest man or woman in the world. Like you do it because you love it. You do it because you want to see it succeed. You know, you want these brands to succeed. You want to have you know, you want to be talking to people like yourself. Like it's a lot of these people are here because they want to be here. That's also what makes this industry unique to work in. So anyway, that's a little bit how I got here. I'm not going anywhere. You know, I feel like as soon as we get out of Wodapalooza 1 year, we're already into it next year. It's like, how could I? Where is the perfect time if you ever did want to, you know, focus on something else? So that's basically how my year goes, man.
Talk about the athletes for a minute, because you know we've had a number of them in here over the last couple of days, and you know we had Josh Bridges in here. Great. You know we had a great conversation about the difference between. And, you know, earlier in a couple of episodes ago, we spoke with Jason Calippo. We had Sarah Wilkinson.
Yeah,
and you talk to these elite athletes. I mean, people who have achieved so much, and I always ask the question of, you know, the mentality that they go about their discipline to, what I call the discipline to prepare, right? Their ability to constantly be pushing themselves for more. You have a unique perspective that I'm very interested in because you kind of see them in mass, you know, whereas I'm getting them individually, which is really cool. But when you look at this group of folks, and you spoke a bit about the community, we speak on most of our podcasts about these 9 characteristics of performance defined by Special Operations Command that I mentioned: you drive, resiliency, adaptability, curiosity, integrity, humility, team ability, effective intelligence, emotional strength. I think I got them all. But someone will write me and tell me if I didn't. But when you look at the athletes as a whole at this level, because you're talking about the 40 or so highest caliber athletes, what do you see in this group?
You know, I think a lot of times what you see in this group is that there's very few of these athletes where this is 100% their day job as well,
which is all amazing.
Crazy. Which is crazy. Like, you know, Pat Vellner, who just competed and won Wodapalooza for, you know, that's not his first event victory, so he keeps coming back year after year, performing at a high level at the CrossFit Games. And if he left tomorrow, he has ownership in a chiropractic practice. You know, he's training professionally now full time, but, you know, having studied and, you know, having career aspirations outside of the sport is, you know, pretty common. So when you look at the athlete base, I think, you know, as opposed to different pro sports, you know, these are I want to say, you know, they're genuine people that you know, they want to work with you to help the event. So, you know, they're not just there to compete, collect a check, and go home. So when we say community, yes, there's a community aspect in terms of the general populace. But you mentioned Jason Khalifa. You know, we just got done doing a NC Fit Khalifa workout in a center here at Sandlot.
He smoked me. By the way. Like, when we went out and did his episode, we did a 6-minute workout after. I was down for a week.
I was happy that this was tempo, slow pace workout, nothing too high intensity. My lunch hasn't
we AMRAP everything.
yeah. And you know, his philosophy on fitness is different than others, but you know, Jason will be very open about how his view of functional fitness is even changing. The older he gets, I mean, he is obviously competed at the highest levels, but now as he's, you know, his kids are getting older, he's focused on different aspects. You know, we're talking with him about, hey, what are you into and how has fitness transformed your goals? And how can we assimilate to those goals? Because, you know, you, like many other athletes, their fitness goals might change. You know, is it as exciting to watch the same form of fitness year after year, or should we be looking at different things? And this is going back to Wodapalooza. Are there different elements we should be bringing? Is there different interest levels that will bring in, you know, new spectators, new participants, etc.? Like, what is the community craving? So when we talk about community, it's like you don't want to be self-serving. You can never self-serve just to those elite athletes. What makes Wodapalooza special? What makes this industry special is that fitness is always kind of evolving, right? You know, like it's like, oh, well, people are, you know, hey, people are starting to utilize functional fitness more for triathlon, or they're trying to use it more for some type of mixed martial arts, or whatever it is. So how do we assimilate with
I use it to just get out of bed in the morning.
There you go, man.
I'm over 40, so.
There you go, yeah. I do it to stretch and make sure that I can keep doing that. So when we talk about the athletes, we want them to have a good experience. You know, that's really what it is. We want them to come away and say, that was a kick-ass event. That was so fun. That was that like was unique, you know, and had different programming styles. It had different equipment uses. You know, and that's a hard combination to keep altering year after year. And like I said, we have a team and experts on our side that spend a lot of time investigating and asking those right questions. So like when we say community, that's what I'm talking about is gathering intel from those elite athletes, from like people like us, you know, and people that currently aren't even coming to events like Wodapalooza. Like, what do they want to see? What do they want to participate in? Like, what is going to excite them in terms of a quote unquote fitness event? You know, so that's a lot. I mean, we spend a lot of hours in any given day or week thinking on those types of things.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you think the future holds? You know, so you say that it's changing and everyone's trying to keep up with it. If you were to, you know, think about where are we going to be as a fitness industry in, you know, 3 years, 5 years? I mean, because if you think about, I mean, you don't have to go back that long. I mean, let's say 20 years. You know, I was finishing high school, going to college. You know, what did you do? You know, 3 sets of 10, right? You know, you have like a heavy day and a light day.
Bicep day.
Bicep day. Yeah, today's you know, it was like chest and tries, and then it was bis and back, right? And then you know, and then if you felt like it, you had another day where you did legs, and you know, obviously I skipped the many of those days.
Caught up with you.
Caught up with me later on. But you know, I mean, look forward a couple of years. Where do you think that goes?
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of people, as they become parents, or as they their jobs get more stressful, they take more vacations, whatever, you know, whatever life holds for you. I want to get in and out of the gym. Same thing as what probably 2020 happened is, you know, a lot of facilities had to alter the way that they look at how their members train. Do they want to train in their backyard? Do I need to create programming from that? How do I get them to come back into the gym? Do they want to be in and out in under an hour? So I think the future holds is like, I mean, I'm probably mixing in a little bit of personal, is like, the best part about my workout is when I'm done. And you know, I love going through it, but let's not kid ourselves. Is like, when I'm working out with my wife, we joke like, wasn't it great to be done? Yeah. You know, and what else? Oh boy, But
you achieved, you know, there's a sense of achievement.
There is such a sense of achievement. There's remorse if I miss it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the industry, you know, they want a way to feel like that fitness is providing value in their day-to-day life. Whether that's like, hey, do you want to do only 15 minutes or 30 minutes, or, you know, I think the idea of like constantly varied in terms of like every day something is different, that's not going to change. I think the the methodology of that, like you talked about, like I don't want to go through my cycle each week of like, well, every Tuesday I know I'm doing arms,
right,
and every Friday I know that I'm going to do triceps only, whatever. Like that gets a little monotonous. So
we're not even breaking it down like that anymore. I mean,
no,
you know, with the way it's progressed, when you define functional fitness, right? You know, I don't see anybody in the gym now except bodybuilders,
right?
You know, doing bar curls.
You know, and it's interesting. You see some elite athletes like Matt Fraser's of the world, etc. Openly admit like, hey, I'm incorporating a certain level of bodybuilding into my fitness routine now. And I never used to do that, but now, like, yeah, there is a certain level of physique that I would like to obtain that perhaps like functional fitness might not always provide that. Like, yeah, I would like a little bit added size on my biceps or this part of my deltoid, etc. So I think a variation of the two. There's not just this clear line in the sand between functional fitness, bodybuilding training, even endurance training, which I personally have done a lot of in my life. Running, biking, swimming, trail running. How do you combine this? How do you make all these things? How do you make functional fitness meet any of your goals? You said I wanted to get out of bed in the morning. Great. How do I motivate you to dangle that carrot for you? And what does that mean to you? So where we're going as an industry, I think, is to continue making sure that it's affecting, like, call it daily positivity in people's lives. Like, hey, this can fit whatever lifestyle you have.
Right.
So and going back to, like we said, what we want to do at Wodapalooza, what we want to do, what we think about as event organizers is like, okay, you used to be working out more. Now maybe you found a new love for whatever new type of sport, and maybe it's golf, maybe it's a rec league that you're into. Whatever you want to be training for or not training for, I think is that's where it's going. Is like, I think using it as a tool or just, hey, this is your daily stress reliever. I don't think it needs to live in a box of a definition. That's honestly where I think it's moving. Is I was talking with someone this morning about that. Is it used to have, even CrossFit used to have a stigma of like, well, you do CrossFit or it doesn't seem like you work out at all. and I think it's moving away from that. It's like no, come on, you can do a little bit of CrossFit, you can do a little bit of this,
you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things. It's not
like, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, that's right.
They're second.
It doesn't. I think that's where it's going. Is, hey, it's all good. However you're moving. If you're doing body weights and you have no weights at all, if all you have is a pull-up bar and a jump rope and one dumbbell, that's fine too. Doing more with less is probably seems to be where it's going. Like functional fitness has always been that. It just seems like more brands, more methodology is getting behind that.
Yeah.
What
do we have to look forward to this year? Well, 2023 at Wodapalooza.
I think a lot of what we're talking about here is how do we create newness? Well, keeping the event unique is always like a very exciting challenge. I think
I missed a couple of years because of COVID, though.
Too. There was one. The event did happen in 2020, about 30 days before the world took a long, deep sigh, and 21 was a break year, just coming off of the 10-year anniversary in 2022. So heading into the 11th year, I think we're always looking at ways to change the format of the event, and then also. The amount of people that are competing at the event. Wodapalooza is interesting because after 10 years of this event, you look at like, well, how much more can you grow it? If you're, 45,000 people are showing up to the park, you got almost 3,000 athletes, you got, 80 different brands. Like, it seems like you're almost at like a ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe sometimes you have to break it down a little bit to build it back up. And, we're constantly working, what I focus on a lot is working with the partners to drive value. We had, Olympic champion Ryan Lochte come out to Wodapalooza and he's doing a swim clinic for athletes. Personally, I thought that's very cool. Like, it creates a little bit of crossover from this fitness community to be like, whoa, this guy, like, he's competed in the highest ranks of that sport on a global level.
Right.
I would like to see more of that from every brand, every stakeholder, every single aspect to drive more value for the community. So I'd say if you'd look to see what we're going to do differently, more experiences like that. Like, you should be able to come, and if you don't have at least like, well, holy shit moments, like, wow, that's cool. That's a very big, like, surprise and delight moment, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want. That's what I want to create more of, And like I said, we have outstanding brands that provide a lot of that value by way of partnering with us. But we need to be very smart in the way that we're, what questions we're asking, how we're working with them. We're sitting in this podcast vehicle, like this should be down there, and we should be doing our event podcast from where I'm sitting right now.
We are there. If you will have us, I will bring this thing there, and we will do this.
Like this is what I'm talking about. This is unique. This is very interesting. So if we can continue to create that wow moment, then we're doing a good job. And I think we're already having some conversations. Part of the reason I'm here is to have those conversations with certain people. So, even as I drive back home after this weekend, my mind is already going on like, hey, I think we're down the path already of some new ideas. Yeah. So, the event dates are out there. CrossFit Games are coming up in several months, and it's going to be Wodapalooza takeover very shortly after. So it's coming.
Well, you can count us in.
I love it.
So
I love it.
Aaron, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. It's been a great day down here at Sandlot Jacks, and I really look forward to Wodapalooza. We'll be all over that, and whatever we can do to support your efforts and get the word out, you just let me know.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
American Jedburghs went on to form the foundation of the United States Special Forces and the Special Activities Directorate of the Central Intelligence Agency. Thanks for listening to the Jedburgh Podcast. I'm your creator and host, Fran Racioppi. Join us next week for a new episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on YouTube for full episodes, highlights, and other behind-the-scenes content. If you like what you heard, give us a like and leave a review. Follow me, Fran Racioppi, Talent War Group, and our sponsor Jersey Mike Subs on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Send your comments and inquiries to media@talentwargroup.com. As former members of Special Operations Forces, the Jedburgh Podcast and Talent War Group contribute a percentage of all profits to Special Operations Warrior Foundation, supporting the families of our fallen warriors. Thanks for joining us on this episode. How you prepare today determines success tomorrow.